Hello, hello. Hi, Dawn. Is that Keels? Hi, Keels. Welcome, welcome. We have Donna coming in. Hello, everybody. Just 5:31 here in the Pacific. And I am going to get to my channel because I'm simulcasting on my YouTube channel as well. That channel is Archangel's Love. So let's see what we got going on here.
Hi, John.
Oop, there we go. Let's see. Okay, so there you go. Hi, hey. Let me get my camera on here. Turn on video. Always have to remember what I'm doing. Hi, everybody. We're going to give it a couple minutes here for others to join in. This is a mediumship show, and the first mediumship show that I've done here on Fireside. I've done a lot of mediumship, but not on Fireside. And there's been an influx of mediums on Fireside. So I was guided to break out into the show and do what I do here as a medium. It is different than what others do and how they do it. Everybody has their own way and their own process and all that good stuff. You're stunning. Oh, how sweet. Thank you so much. Fresh out of the bath and a healing session and a download session, and holy moly, I can't take a bath these days without some massive, intense downloads coming through. It's been quite the wild ride lately. Bigly, largely, big time. Hey, Vanessa. So yeah, been a lot going on, been a lot happening for several weeks now, for the greater part of December, all through this January, as we're reaching our new moon. Tomorrow will be officially in new moon territory, and I'm going to do a live for that with some confusion. I don't know. Like I said, there's been a lot going on, and numbers and days and whens and things and all sorts of stuff, and moving days, whatever. Things got a little confused. I did have to cancel last week's Oracle session because I have this whole healing thing going on with myself and my hips, my lower back, and I can do really extraordinary healing on others and myself. I've regenerated the disc in two discs in my neck a few years ago, which I'm not sure anybody else on the planet can claim to do something like that. I did it on myself. I do miraculous healings on others as well. And the next big one I need to do on myself, or I am in process of doing with myself, is to create more cartilage in my hips. I've always had this structural issue in my hips and in my lower back. And I just turned 50. And for the large part of my life, I was bedridden and very sick. And so, it's just, the body is what the body is, but it's miraculous in the way that it can heal. And given who and what I am and how I connect and what I'm, how the amazing things that I can connect to on a like this divine level is really quite amazing. And So I have had to do that starting early last week. And because, like I said, a lot of downloads, a lot, a lot for weeks now. It's been a lot, and it's a lot for the people I'm connected to, my clients. There's been a lot of shifts and paradigm shifts and timeline shifts and integration. So it's just like it's like we're passing the hot potato back and forth because of our connection and how I work with them. And there's several of them. And so a lot of this, this also, it restructures things within the body for all of us. So we'll feel it in our bodies in different ways. And if you are otherwise clear in the energetic department, like I am, to even be able to do this to begin with, then when these big things happen, then it starts to get into working with actual the structure of the body, and anything that's not where it should be is going to be inflamed. It's going to be highlighted, which it was greatly in the last couple weeks with my hips and my lower back. And so, so I've had to deal with that. Have had to spend time, carve out time and spend time with myself and with the team doing healings on me. And it's like, you can imagine what it is for yourself if you've ever had energy healing done, whether you do it whether you can do some on your own or you get it done with somebody else. Your body's going to feel sore. You're going to be tired. And at the level that I'm working on here, it's a lot. So I'm having, really kind of make space for that. So I couldn't do what I had planned a couple of different times over the last week. And, it just is what it is. So what we're doing going forward today, we're having our mediumship show here. This has not changed. I was able to keep this, although we are going to have to keep this on the short side because of all that I just explained. This can't be a marathon live like some of you have experienced with me. I do have a lot of energy typically and a lot of stamina typically. My body usually feels amazing typically. But like I just said, I've been integrating, downloading, and literally restructuring my body and every other body, mental body, spiritual body, emotional body, all the bodies. And with that said, I've had to spend the least amount of time sitting in long periods as possible. 2 hours is pretty much my max at this point. So this cannot be a really long one, unfortunately. I do tend to, say, oh, this is going to be a 15 or 20 minute reading. And then I get into it with somebody, and it can go, of course, much, much longer than that. And I like to be thorough. I like everything. Like, it's kind of like if the river is flowing, I allow that flow. It's really hard for me to shut that off. And I don't usually even try. But in situations like these, I definitely do need to get better at that. So with that said, I have a great little fun timer here. I'll set it here for just a couple of seconds so you can hear what happens as it starts to wind down. And once time is up, you will hear this. Let me show you what this is. In the meantime, let me see who's come in. We have, that's okay. Listen. It's winding down. 3, 2, 1. Then we have by the wolves howling, saying time is up. And so this will keep me and everybody understanding where we are with time. So now if you guys did not know this, let me get back to my channel. If we did not know this, for those of you on Adrian and Karen on YouTube, hello. If there's other people here. They just haven't gotten into the chat. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Welcome. You can now be on the Fireside app on your Android through your Android phone. So I invite everybody on YouTube to go ahead, and if you don't have the app downloaded, go ahead and download the app, and you can use it through with your Android now, which is really exciting. That email just came through yesterday. So I was like, wow, it did happen. I was beginning to think it wasn't going to happen. I'm like, well, I guess it's just always going to be iPhones. But no, I love being surprised like that, and I definitely was. So those of you who have Androids, you can join in through the app, through the Fireside app, and the purpose of that is, hi Jeanette, just wanted to say hi, try out Fireside. Exactly, Jeanette is an Android user. She's one of my dear clients, and she has not been able to use to get on here before until today. I was very excited. I forwarded her the email last night. I went, you can do this now. So for the rest of you on YouTube who are just used to doing that, you can chat with me via YouTube. But this is where the real, like, the first generation of this live is coming to you, and all the lives on Fireside is through the Fireside chat and just going through YouTube. So on Fireside, you can join me up on stage, which is required to do readings, mediumship readings or oracle readings. Oh, with that said, back to the story about what we're doing here with the new moon. So the new moon, I have another live, not tomorrow, but on Saturday. We're going to be at 0%, I believe, at around 12 o'clock Pacific on Saturday afternoon, 12 or 2. I can't remember right now. I'm having a really hard time remembering things these days with all that's going on. But it is scheduled, and that is going to be a combination, a hybrid show. And I may do this more in the future just because I do need to kind of downgrade what's on my plate with everything new that's going on. It's kind of a lot, and I am only one person. And I have a lot in the fire to create, a lot being heated up and pounded on metal, forging into things, which takes time and attention and energy. So anyhow, what we're doing this Saturday is combining the new moon. Usually I do a new moon energy update with what's going on about that new moon, with the energies it's all connected to astrologically, and divinely and spiritually, and all those things. And then I do a general oracle reading, and then I do a spirit walk. It is a channeled guided astral spirit walk meditation, and that's usually full moon and new moon programming the program lineup, because that in itself is about 2 hours. But what we're going to do for tomorrow is do a condensed version of what's going on with this new moon. And then I'm going to do oracle readings for those, for a few in attendance, maybe up to 5 people. Like I said, I have a maximum amount, 2 hours that I could be sitting these days. Won't be that long before I'm good again. But for now, it does need to be limited. And then we'll do a short spirit walk. Hopefully we'll guide it to do that at that time. So that's what's going on with the new moon and all that jazz. So with that said, I want to kind of open this up with kind of some, when it comes to the mediumship specifically, and what we are working with here, and how I work is I will connect to somebody who wants to connect with a loved one. And I ask for those of you who are asking, who do want a reading, that this is for somebody that you've been thinking about a lot lately. You're maybe even been dreaming about. They've been really coming through for you. Let's leave the spaces open for, not like, oh, there's this person that died 15 years ago. She was a good friend of mine, and maybe I just, like, that's really sweet and all, but this space right here, it's a very sacred space, very divine space. I take this and what I do across the board extremely seriously. Although I like to have as much fun as possible through it, and we laugh laugh a lot here through the tears sometimes even. But I do want to keep these spaces open because I am limited to, maybe I could do 3 tonight. We'll see. But I do want to keep the space open for people who are really, really feeling like, you know, their loved one is really coming through. And this is not just for humans. I do, and I can reconnect people with their crossed over pets, animal companions. I love doing that too. They come through with a lot of information, a lot of visuals about things. So that is on the table as well. If you're really missing a long lost pet, if you have a loved one who is very important to you, you've been thinking about lately, really feeling their energy, you want to connect, you just want to talk to them, see what comes through, you know, that sort of thing. If they are available and this is the time for them to come through to you, I will start picking up on them. I may have us do some kind of grounding connection energy business before we get started individually with each of you. That's pretty much it, I think. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to, oh, there's Karen. Hey, Karen, you did it. Welcome to Fireside, my love. It's so nice to see you here. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Love it. Thanks for being here, my dear. Okay, but before we get started, and I'm going to open this up, I'm going to do for you guys to request a mediumship reading here in a minute. But what I'm going to do is pull a card from this new deck that I got. I really love it. I've been working with it last, I don't know, week or whatever, 2 weeks. Again, I'm having a hard time with time lately. It's been really interesting. I think I'm going in and out of time, like time slippage. So it's been really interesting. But anyhow, this is what the back of the cards look like. This image will play tricks with your eyeballs, and it's meant to. Great deck. It's a very intense deck, very beautiful deck. And if you're watching this and you feel pulled to get this deck, and especially if you're one of my clients, I ask you to hold off before you do that, and let's get some guidance on things, because there's things that are connected with this deck that are beyond this deck that I'm not at liberty to discuss at this time, because that's a whole box of Pandora that I'm not ready to get into yet, but I will soon. So anyway, don't mean to be all, mysterious about shit, but it just is what it is sometimes. So, especially in my world. So anyhow, let's get a card. And this is just gonna, it's kind of a general message for us all here in regards to connecting with your loved ones, your ancestors. Remember, you're your own ancestor. Really try to chew on that concept and marinate in that energy for a while. You're your own ancestors in various ways and levels. What it means to connect with somebody or an animal or a person who has, I'm going to not request this just yet, Nia. I'm not ready to have people up. What it's like to connect to spirit or those who've crossed over, things like that. So this card just popped off. I didn't move this camera as I was shuffling. This card popped off and landed on top of my thumb here. Just flipped in. I wish I had moved the camera, but I just started doing that. But anyway, this is the rebirth card. So as I was talking about, the message that we want, messages for us all when it comes to this sort of communication and and, channeling, mediumship kind of business. What card is going to give us a good message about all this? And I love this card coming up here. It's Rebirth. It is the 24 card. What's so cool about her is that she actually, she has all these cracks, but they're gold, these gold cracks, and there's pieces of her falling away. It's really beautiful. So let's read about rebirth. $24, right? Yeah, there we go. Glasses. Okay. I need just a little, I turned off my light behind me because there's just too much. Okay, here we go. Rebirth. Divination. You feel you have done your best to make yourself lovable, to be the perfect lover, wife, husband, mother, father, child, sibling, or friend. However, every failure and every disappointment has left you feeling disillusioned and broken. Each break symbolizes a past trauma, a broken heart, a wound, a loss of a dear friend, a betrayal. How easy it would be to become bitter and harden your heart against love. In your distress, call upon the universal spirit of love, and it will patiently guide you to rebuild yourself piece by piece. The rebirth card is inspired by kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The broken pieces are lovingly mended with gold lacquer and become part of the object's story, a beautiful technique that highlights the imperfections of each break. Similarly, each broken part of you becomes part of the rich tapestry of your life story. Through destruction comes repair and rebirth. You must accept and love your broken pieces and transmute them into gold and love, becoming stronger in the process. The pure gold of love will open your heart and soul, and like the gold leaf in kintsugi, will restructure the broken pieces of your heart and make it shine. You are becoming a new being. And action. Focus on the spirit of love that rests in you and bring it to the center of your life. This action will free you from feeling dependent on the love of others to feel whole because you are loved by love itself. That's so beautiful. Focus on the spirit of love that rests in you and bring it to the center of your life. So if everything you do is through the energy of love, which takes real intention, because we're not typically programmed to do things like that, as we grow up. We're just not. So and then we, like the message says, we deal with a lot of pain, hurt, trauma, loss, abandonment, et cetera, et cetera. This action will free you from feeling dependent on the love of others to feel whole because you are loved by love itself. This is such a beautiful card for this type of energy that we're dealing with here with connecting or reconnecting to crossover loved ones. Because there can be a whole lot of pain associated with that, a lot of loss, a lot of unfinished business, a lot of dwelling on what was or wasn't so perfect. Of course, regrets. And aside from that, I think it's a great reminder here about, yeah, Katie, that's right. About, if you tap into love, then all those other things just begin to fall away. There is no room for that energy. Hi, Diane. Oh, thank you. Those are beautiful cards. Yes, I love them very much. So anyway, something to think about here with this rebirth card and the message. I love, and I've seen that before. Of course, this isn't the first time with that gooey, the gooey that it talked about. The pottery art, the Japanese pottery art. It is beautiful. If you look at pictures of it, it's really pretty because it's these beautiful pots and there's just gold all over, and that's where it was mended, and it just adds so much richness and definitely texture to this, what you would say is like this perfect, beautiful pot. Definitely changes that. And any crack that we have, and if those are represented by the loss of a loved one or just a relationship with somebody and then they've crossed over or whatever, to see that as also a way to connect with that person as well, and to just open your heart to that love energy and focus on that energy, especially with compassion for yourself and others. And that frees up the energy to be able to come through and to feel that, instead of the human-based emotions of loss or grief or regret or shame or guilt or judgment or fear, all that stuff. It's just can very easily be so thick, but also most of those things are programs and illusions and energy that needs to be disconnected. And if you then connect through the center of love, like it talked about, then again, the strength of all of that connectivity to those lower level energies can start to fall away. And that's when healing happens. It's really, really beautiful. When it comes to mediumship, that is my goal to begin with and to end with, is that there's some healing there, that you feel better, that you feel, better. Not everything's going to be healed in a mediumship session, and certainly not in these abbreviated ones that are public, but may they help to light, to be the spark in the beginning of healing, and on a deeper level, I guess you can say, is what I would hope for here today. Okay, with that said, without further ado, let's get into it. And those of you that would like I said, if you're been feeling particularly pulled in or magnetized or guided to reconnect, or feeling the energy of your loved ones, you can go to the into the it says Q&A, or there's the text, and you can do that. And Nina, is that Nina? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then let's go ahead and have you come up. And if there's anybody else, you can go ahead and request. I suggest that you do that. And you want that to happen. So now, can you say, hi, sweetheart, how are you?
Well.
Okay, let me try to turn you up so I can actually hear you. I have a hard time sometimes on Fireside. Can you say your name so I have your pronunciation right?
Nina.
Nina, okay. Hi, Nina. Okay, so you said it was your son?
Yes.
Justice Jaden is his name.
Yes.
Oh, what a beautiful name. Okay, so yeah, if you can, are you gonna be in the spot that are you in the space because you were walking around? Are you in the space you're gonna be in?
Yes.
Okay, and are you by yourself?
No, I have my children around me, but I have you in my ear.
Okay, okay. All right. So if you could just, are you in a chair? Can you be seated?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
great. Um, okay, if you could just close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths for me. And really energetically, telepathically invite this. It's kind of like a, like a fire circle or whatever. There's a lot of energies all around. But first and foremost, we're gonna have our divine beings, your guardian angel, the archangels come in and just really kind of clear the space because it can get really intense in here. So it's like, let's clear some space. So if you can have that intention, just clearing some space, just making some room. It's literally like when too many people are too close to you and you're just like, okay, I need space. So it's like, let's create this space around us. So people just need to back away a little bit so we can clearly pick up on what we're meant to pick up on.
Okay. I'm gonna go back out here. I just was worried that my dogs would start to bark.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm by myself.
Say that again.
I'm by myself now. I'm not around people.
You're not around people. Okay, I'm just is anybody else having a hard time hearing her, or is it just me? If anybody can, Dawn, can you let me know if that sounds, because it sounds like really echoey. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Let me see if I take off my ear. Is that
Yeah, it could
better?
be that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. That's way better. It's like you were talking underwater or something. It was
Oh,
really hard to hear you. It's echoing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it is better now. It is better now. Okay. Alrighty. So again, creating that space. So if you could just have that intention, creating that space. And we're very specifically wanting to connect with Justice Jaden. Okay, so I'm picking up on this young energy that's like got a lot of blue surrounding. It's okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They get excited. It's cool. Blue, really blue, very, and I mean that in a good way. It's just like this really pretty blue surrounding this energy. But also not coming through by himself.
Oh, okay.
So give me a second here. Okay, so first it felt like an older female, then it felt like an older male, then it felt like an older female, then it felt like an older male, and then it's like both of them are there. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it could be my grandmother.
Okay. Yeah, it was definitely older. Like, yeah, it's a definitely older. And then there's also an older male too.
Oh.
That Jaden is with. Um um Is there some connection to something that is blue of his for you?
I'm thinking that maybe because I think you like the color blue. I know I like the color blue.
Okay, but there isn't like any like figure or painting or something that like reminds you of him that has a lot of blue in it, because that's kind of what I'm seeing, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what that is.
Oh, it might be his. I have his memorial poster, and he's literally surrounded by blue sky.
By blue what?
By the blue sky. He was on a
Blue
boat.
sky. Okay, maybe then that's it, because it's a tangible it's a thing that reminds you of him. So I don't know of another thing that would be more than that his actual it's a picture of his like memorial thing.
Well, his car is blue.
His car was blue.
Yes.
Okay, there's another blue thing. Yeah, because he's just coming through with a lot of blue, and that there's things about him and blue that are very associated. Him and the color blue, that there's an association with this kind of blue thing. So, but basically, okay, so we have that connection, because it was just like I'm trying to figure out what, because it wasn't. It's interesting, but I'm glad you're making that. So you may make more connections with this as time goes on, and but anyhow, do you have any specific questions?
Is he happy?
I'm sorry?
Is he happy?
Is he happy? Oh, honey. You poor thing. I can feel that this is so hard for you. Well, yeah, he's showing me that he is, and he is with family, and he is taken care of, and he is definitely happy. I think that what he's coming through is kind of like, there feels like this push-pull kind of thing with you. Like you want to let him go, but it's really hard for you to let him go, which is very understandable. You said you lost him back in June, and he's a very young person, right? Like, is he like even
19.
like under 20 or something?
He's 19.
19. Okay. That's what I was saying. It's like right around that age. Very young, very young. And my heart goes out to you, sweetie. I have a son too, and I can't imagine that kind of loss. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, he's like, yes, I'm very happy. He is showing me that he is with and has taken the position as another guardian of his brothers and sisters, and is with them a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, do you feel that?
Well, my son tells me that there's a light that goes on at his house in the closet, and there's no light, but he can't figure it out.
Okay, let me just confirm. Yeah, he says he does several things with yeah, and it will consist of light, or it will consist of things that are blue. Like he really has this thing with blue. So if you like think about him and get the attention of something blue, you could, whatever those things are, but he's making it very clear that he's definitely taken, and he's coming through, and so it's him, and his that would be his great grandmother, yeah?
It would be his great grandmother, yes.
His great grandmother. Okay, so your grandmother, his great grandmother.
Yes.
Okay, and there is an older male there with him too. And maybe he's like a generation back, because he's showing me further back. But so yes, it's like a three generational kind of thing that's happening with this, and so he's showing me that this was like a sudden situation?
Like a what?
Like this happened when he crossed over, that it was a sudden situation?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was riding a motorcycle and a woman hit him with the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like this.
he tried
Yeah.
to fight. He was fighting in the hospital to stay alive, but we lost him that day.
Got it. Yeah, that's definitely sudden. This not expected, very sudden shock kind
Did
of
he
thing is
did
that
he
he's
feel
showing
any
me.
pain?
Huh?
Did he feel any of the pain?
Um, no. He was aware and he was in and out of consciousness, but no. When somebody is at that stage, they go into this like well, not only are they given like actual pain medication at the hospital and stuff, but literally their guides, the archangels come in and they do this like kind of separation from that type of reality, because there's a lot going on in the upper senses of the consciousness. And in a situation like that, it's really he wants you to know that that ultimately it was his decision. It was his decision. And he was presented, this is how it goes with people. Some people are in that kind of limbo state, whether, it's an accident or some other thing. Usually it is, or some type of like quick type of situation that happens, whether it's a heart attack or, things like that.
Does he know I was there at the hospital though?
What?
Does he know I was there at the hospital? Like, did he know?
Yes, definitely. He was, yes, 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 absolutely. No, he's showing me visions of being in the hospital, but he was more like standing with you than in bed. Yeah, that's what he's showing me. He's like, at that point, he because it was really physically, there was a lot of like there was stuff going on. He's pointing to his head. There was like brain damage business, right?
I don't know. I just know he had two broken arms and he was
Yeah, it
scratched
was.
up.
Yeah, he's showing me his head, and he was like, I did have a helmet on and stuff, but still, when you get knocked around like that, he's showing me that, and he's
It
showing
might
me
have been
that
because I remember when I
physically.
rubbed his head, there was a lump. You're right. There was a lump on his head. I did feel that.
Yeah, there's swelling for sure. There was some brain damage, some issues there, physically, that were really quite intense. And when I was talking about when he was saying, making a decision, he was very, there's this thing that happens in those situations where you're literally like in your body, but also not. You're conscious on a very different level. And on a spiritual level and on a human based level, you're kind of presented with some options there. This is kind of like the timelines. And, you have some people get this, they get this, and they can say, look at the options of what this means for themselves, their loved ones, everything else, and make a decision. And they make that decision out of love for themselves, out of the family and what's best and all that. And sometimes they come back. You've seen people come back from really from certain
That
things.
was
And
going to
some
be my next question to you because I just we did some IVF and I'm
mm,
actually I'm still early in the process of it, but I did get my pregnancy test back positive, and I just wanted to know if maybe his spirit might be there with the baby, and how will my
oh,
pregnancy
okay.
go? And how will my pregnancy go? Will I actually have a child? Will it,
So
will
you're
it
asking if he's gonna like be reincarnated with you in this lifetime?
in a way, yes.
Oh, I understand how you would want that, but he's showing me no. He says he knows of this, but this is a totally different soul. But he's gonna be just like his other, just like his other brothers and his siblings, that he's gonna be there with them. But yeah, he's saying not this time, not this time, not this time.
Will my pregnancy go well though? Will I be like be able to carry this pregnancy through and have my baby? Do you know?
Um. Oh wow. Okay, so what's coming back is that's okay, let me try to explain. You have definitely the capacity to have that happen. But you really got to work on letting go of some of this grief energy. And I know that it's hard, sweetie, but a baby to go to term and everything, they really they're being more picky now than ever, to be honest with you. And it's good, it's like it's like it's like they really want, it's like the new generation of incarnates, of beautiful souls coming in. Really, they need a mother who is as clear as possible, energetically. And going back to him, to Justice, such a beautiful name. I love that name. Yeah, he's, if there's, the only thing he says I'm unhappy about is how sad you are. And that's really, because he knows how sad you are, and that how much you miss him. But he wants you to understand that he really is with you and everybody all the time. Like, he's really taken, like, this is what he's gonna do. He's gonna be with you. And I'm seeing this happen a lot. Like, people really like it's almost like the way that they perceive it is I can be even closer to you this way. I can be there with you all the time, and in a way that you can talk to me and communicate with me, and we can, and I'm there, and I really want you to know that I'm there. And same thing goes with his siblings. And like there's a like this baby being born, and when it gets old enough, I can tell you right now that it will have a very intense connection with Justice, and never having met him.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is really awesome. And
Is
because you're gonna what?
I said, is it a boy or a girl?
Oh, you're asking a lot, my dear.
I sure am.
Do you really want to know?
Just curious.
But do you really want to know?
Yes.
I'm seeing girl. I'm seeing girl here. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. She will help heal. She'll help you with the healing, but you need to help yourself with this healing. It's really important. If you let, Justice says, if you let me, I can, if you don't, like, if you can, and it hasn't been that long, so we don't mean to push you in any way, because it has not, and time is a great healer for sure. But maybe now you can start to think, like, what, I feel him. I know he's here. Look at that picture. Like, he's really infused with that picture. When you're there and connecting, like, if you look at that picture, again, the blue stuff, any of the blue stuff, that's really, if you have a blue sweater, anything, if you want to connect that. Now there's another thing, because blue can be kind of ambiguous, but so he says, he would like to come up with something else. Is there, like, a symbol that reminds you of him, or that you guys both liked, or some type of something? Because he's like, when you see that, in an image in your head, or when you see that out and about, it's just another type of way to say that I'm there with you. So do you have anything like that, or would you like to create anything like that?
I'd probably create something, because I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The only thing that we had connections with was marijuana, because my son suffered from ODD, and that was his medication.
Got it. Yeah, no, I understand.
I don't do that now, but that's something, because I remember that when he had passed away, I was in the kitchen and I had this overwhelming smell of it, and I was like, where did that come from? And I just had
I see. I see. Yes, yes, yes. They will come through with smells. They totally
and
will.
I knew, for some reason, I knew that might have been him. So
Yeah.
sadly to say, it's
No, that's
marijuana.
adorable. No, it's really cute. No, I've got my pipe right here, so you know it's all good, girl. It's all good. We love the cannabis. What'd you say?
I say we live in Hawaii, so you know how that goes.
Do you really? Oh my gosh, that is trippy as shit, man. I was connecting to Hawaii earlier. No, I shit you not. Yes, in my in the bath and the healing and everything, I was, yes, with the volcano and the lava and the all, yes, it was very intense. Yes. And I was in fact told I need to go to Hawaii. That's where I need to go. And I've never been, and I've always wanted to go. And yeah, I was just like, whoa. And there you are from Hawaii. That's trippy. I'm sorry. I'm just like, whoa. I mean, I deal with a lot of trippy stuff, so it's just like another thing. But really, like, whoa. And not only that, right when I got out of the bath, and I was like, okay, I gotta like, because I go so high and so deep, I gotta come back to earth, you know. So I need something really grounding. So I put on Joe Rogan from like 2 days ago, and the guys he have on are talking about Atlantis and how many of these sites are connected to the volcanoes. And so and I'm like, oh my God, I just like spent a half hour in the bath or 45 minutes in the bath with volcanoes and thinking about how Mount Shasta is a volcano, how there's Hawaii, and they're like kept pointing me to Hawaii. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, that's
but anywho, oh, so okay, so God, I bet the marijuana there is really good.
it is.
I bet it is. Everything there is good. What isn't good in Hawaii? I haven't even been there, and I know that. Anyhow, okay, where were we? Okay, so symbols in business like that. So, he's showing me like a cannabis leaf. And it could even be, he goes, it can even be more like, it could even, because normally they're green, right? But he says, you know, there are a lot of strains that have that blue tint to it, of course, you know, that's so, or purple, that like blue purple, it's so pretty. So yeah, that, or you could just have that deep scent of that coming through, you know, like you did before.
Yeah.
Like you did before. So those definitely, and he's given me a thumbs up. He says, I like it. He goes, I like that.
Oh, and can you let him know to stop scaring his sister, because she claims that she hears tapping on the windows and it's scaring her. And I don't know if it's him, but he was a jokester like that. He always liked to play around with his sisters and things.
He's not taking responsibility for that. He's like, no, I'm not scaring her.
Okay, thank you, son.
No, he's not. And then just a reminder, okay, again, you know, you can talk to him. You can, you know. Yeah, so you talk to him, and you know, talk to your children about like how we just talked. How do you want him to come through for you? And everybody can have their own thing. And, you know, but I would say that picture with the blue sky and everything, that like memorial to him is a great thing, like for all of you to kind of connect to and know that when you really do want to, because you can always say good morning to him. You can say hello to him. You're with me today. I feel it, you know, just generally, you know, talk to him. But then you can really get in there and like sit and, you know, go and just either think about that picture or be near that picture, looking at that picture. But he definitely resonates with that. And let me see if he has any other messages for you.
Please, thank you.
Besides, well, he's just like mostly just wanting you to not be so sad. You know, he says, I really want you to be happy for me. I'm really loving this space that I'm in. I can be with all of you all the time. That's my big responsibility in life, and or in this this way that he's living. And he says, I will be there to, yeah, he's showing me this like advisor role. Was he good at like listening and giving advice and stuff like that?
He wasn't good at listening, but he definitely took a chief kind of role. He liked to be
Yeah.
in control. Yes.
Yeah, like this, like, yeah, like he's showing me this like advisor position, this like leader advisor position that he feels very comfortable with. Very comfortable with. He's like, this is what I'm meant to do. So if you need help with anything, come to me and I'll help you. I'm one of the, the tribe, one of the spirit guides, if you will, now. And, having just been there, having just been alive in the family, a human in this timeline, in this world, those are sometimes, we have angels and archangels and, all this stuff and all of our, the divinities and the ascended masters and all of that. But a lot of the times it's the ones for certain people that they've had in these lifetimes that just crossed over that are the most comforting, because they've been there literally with you in your life. They know you, so they know you, they love you, and it's like they're how do I put it? It's like this real this real way that they can influence you and, advise you and be there for you and guide you and help you and all of that sort of stuff from that perspective. And so that's what he's showing me. And he's showing me that for all, like, everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. So, like,
is there any message coming from the older woman?
What?
Is there a message coming from the older woman? I'm thinking it's my grandma Nina. She shares the same name as me.
Oh, okay. Well, let's confirm that. She's coming through this big smile, very similar to yours, big smile. And she says, it's me. You know that it is me. And did they... This is an interesting connection between the two of them. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of time there between the two of them. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so now they're like very close, like together, very close and together. Yeah. So that's also something too. And again, there's this older man that comes through. Maybe that's like maybe that's her father.
Oh, I wonder. Maybe, you know why? Because Justice's middle name is Kavelu, and that's my grandmother's father, who might be Kavelu. He's also Kavelu.
Okay.
I wonder.
Because he's like directly behind him. Because the way, so if they were standing, it would be like Justice, and then his grandmother. No, his great grandma. Yeah. I get that mixed up. But anyway, and then this man is directly behind him. You know what I mean? So it's like there's this thing going on here like that. So it's like this three thing going on. It's very strong. It's very, very strong. It's very loving. It's very supportive. They're very much connected and together. I mean, it's like it's so interesting to see that, because I don't usually see that. That's really cool. And it's like it's like they were like, it's hard to understand when you're alive, but when we're here and we're together, it's like we've always been here together. And they weren't in real life.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's the life they have, is to get, is together.
That's awesome.
Which is really, really beautiful. So yeah, okay, so just want to see if there's like any other things, but mostly they just want you to know, they're just like, just please like understand, we're all together, we're all with you, we love you all so much. They just keep coming through with this, just a lot of love, and they want you to replace your, you know, your anger, because they're showing me how they're like, you're very angry, and that's understandable. Also with, you know, there he's pointing to this woman who hit him, that they might, you know, just to start to, you know, really consider forgiving and letting go of that pain, because it's all the way it's meant to be, really. And they're, you know, it's hard, you know, we don't mean to say that it's not, but if you imagine replacing that energy for a clear connection with him and all of them, you're shifting how the vibration and the frequency within you, and how that's connected to all of this.
Okay.
And only you can really, you know, work on letting that go. You know, do you have a bathtub?
I do.
Okay, so get in the bath, you know, give yourself like, you know, tell yourself you're going to do this twice a week for 3 weeks. And at the end of the 3 weeks, you're going to have a lot less of this energy within you. Okay. And take a bath twice a week. Get in there with some salts and flowers and essence and crystals and whatever it is that you're guided to put in this bath with you. Okay. And really think about, you know, the all the things that go through your head that you know aren't the, you know, the most positive, that, you know what those are, you know, and it's understandable, and give yourself the permission, like, well, you know, you're human and this shit happened to you, and your son was taken and he was in pain, and all the things you're allowed to feel about all of that. But at the same time, you can say, okay, well, now I choose to replace that with being now connected to him in a new way, instead of connected to him in those ways.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a time where that's like, there's a time, and I think you're feeling like that there's a time here where I need to let that go and feel things differently.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I'm seeing this like as a regimen for you, twice a week for 3 weeks, with the intention of just, you know, replacing that energy, and just think of that coming off of you in the bath, it going down the drain, it transmuting into something else, that beautiful, and, you know, that energy that led, where really the heart of it is love. It's just, again, like we've got this, you know, it's a fracture, it's a paint, it's one of these things. So you're literally like filling in the gold sort of thing. Fill in the gold now. Make it, you know, use that now, because now you know it's connected to so much else, and it is really, really beautiful. And through this, your own, you have I'm being shown you have very heightened senses, that you in your own right are psychic, and you in your own right, you have, right?
I do. Yeah, in ways, yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And I think that in times like these, that can make it better, and it can make it worse. Okay. Because not only you feel your stuff, you feel everybody else's grief too.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's a lot, you know, and his, you know, the grief that everybody has for losing him. And yeah, of course, that's a lot. And it's like, it's all bouncing back to you, and it's just circulating back to you again and again. That's what I was saying. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good, because we feel all that.
And I don't know how to dispense it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, to get rid of it. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. Yes.
Yes.
Very true.
It can be a lot, you know, as we're connected, you know, we're deeply connected with other souls and other, you know, beings that are alive and not. It's a lot to come through. I mean, it'll literally, like, it can be physically painful, all that energy, and very tiring, and very, it confuses it confuses the systems from operating effectively, because there's all this energy. It's like traffic.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a lot of traffic going on, and it just needs to be cleared out. Like I said in the beginning, there's all this up against us, right? It was like as soon as I connect, I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. We just need to clear this space. And it's coming back to that, like full circle at this point. It's like really consider that all of that energy that is going back and forth about this, and you really being the leader in how to heal from this, and how to use this experience with him in a real way to show and to illustrate for yourself and your children that he's really not gone. You know, he's really not at all. He's there all the time. He wants to know that he's there when you want to know. See, the thing is that like at first they may do things and stuff that are really kind of confusing because they're trying to make connection, and it's hard to, most people are so in grief that they cannot see that, and it's really, so they'll do a lot of different things. But once if it can shift and turn into something where there's really a new language spoken between you, and because you have this psychic ability, and you can do this on your own, and I fully believe that for most people. People that are usually guided to me are on that spectrum anyway, but I think that most people just kind of decide, well, they're gone, so it's over, and I can't, and they can't, and I can't, and we can't, and you know what I mean? Once those decisions are made, then they become true because you've closed the door and locked the door, and that's the end of it. But it doesn't have to be that way, and it doesn't always take somebody like me to make that connection. It just takes a clear mind and a clear heart and clear intent. And again, from the previous card that we got about, it was this card that we got about the love. If you tap in directly and through love to begin with, this is going to help a lot. And so replace the anger and the pain and the grief and all of that, and tap into love, and just let that flow, let that kind of mix in and then take over. And then, the whole time he's like, I'm there with you if you want to talk to me through it, and we can connect, get really high. That helps. Oh, but you're pregnant, so maybe you don't want to do that. But I forgot that part. He's like, or get yourself in a trance-like state. You can do that without any medicinals, or you could or if there's plant medicines that you can use, or even like, some tea or whatever, and just really connect and open yourself up. I find that, I heal myself in the bath. I connect to everybody I'm meant to connect to and work with in the bath, because it's in water. It's highly conductive. There's nobody around. It's like its own little portal space. It's very, very sacred space to be in to do this kind of thing. So that can, through these baths, just kind of work yourself through that, and just have this intention every single bath and every single week, 2 by 2 by 2. I'm going to feel so much better, lighter, happier, and not so, in pain about all this stuff.
Right. Sounds good. I would do that. Good.
I'm glad. And good luck with everything. Love to you and your family. I can tell that you guys really, it was this really beautiful connection with your family. And yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Yep, awesome. I think that's it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
You too. Okay. Aloha.
Bye. Okie dokie. Who's all here? Melissa, there's Dawn.
That was cool.
Nina, Sandy, Nia, Karen. Love it. Okay. Was there anyone at this point that did, of course, go longer than I expected? As always. Was there anybody else who would like a reading here tonight?
Huh? You should have.
Oh, let me,
Let me see.
I'm going to take you.
You got a face
That's
though.
okay. I'm going to remove you from the stage, sweetheart. There we go. Okay. Oh, that was intense. I would like to. This is Nia. Okay, Nia. Hey, Nia.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, good. You can hear me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I have my bonnet on.
Okay, yeah. If you can find a seat and then with some light so we could see you. Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
I'm a little
good.
nervous because I've never done anything like this before, but
Oh, that's okay.
after
Oh, just relax. I can understand being nervous and being on stage and everything, but it's okay. It's just you and me. It's cool.
Okay.
So, tell me what's going on and who you would like to connect to.
My mom.
Your mother, okay.
Yeah.
And what were you gonna say?
She passed away when I was 8,
Okay,
and it I have a lot of unanswered questions, and I think that the older I get, I'm 33 now, so the older I get, the more I feel more disconnected from her in that way. So,
gotcha. Okay. And what's your mom's name?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, beautiful. Okay. So if you could just close your eyes and take a deep breath and just center in on the energy of your mother. And it's interesting how I'll see the color with people. So what's coming through, I'm seeing a lot of yellow. A lot of yellow energy, a lot of yellow color.
I'm not sure if that was like her favorite color or not.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not sure that you would even know, but I'm just letting you know that that's what I'm seeing here with her is yellow. Okay. Okay, I do believe we have her fully present. Took a little bit for her to come in. Okay. All right. And do you have a specific question, my dear?
I think the biggest thing that I have two big questions, but after my mother passed, some very traumatic things happened with her side of the family. Like I lived with her sister, and her sister neglected me. Like there was no food, there was no hot water, and
Wow.
I had to eventually be taken out of that house. And did she see that? Did she know that that could happen?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Yeah, she's kind of saying, there's not a whole lot that she could do about that. Although she desperately wanted to, she shows me that she was with you they like through this. She's showing me like that you would go into some small space. Was it like a space around a bed or even a small closet or something? Would you put yourself in some small space?
It
Or
wasn't
were
that I
put in a
put.
small space?
So my aunt was a hoarder, um,
Okay.
and so I would normally, like, my bedroom would just be like stuff, and then my bed was like my safe space, like, because it just didn't have anything.
Okay.
Because literally everything else, it was just like things were just so piled, you know.
Got it. Okay. Because I'm seeing a vision of it being definitely dark, just energetically dark, but then dark. And then there's a space around your bed so maybe the bed itself was a small space, because I see you in this small space is what she was showing me of
Hmm.
where you be, and it wasn't a whole lot of space, but it feels kind of even cave like or something. I don't know if that makes sense, but the bed thing makes sense because I felt it around the bed. But in any event, she's showing me that she was definitely there with you in that space. Uh, and trying to, she said that you talked to her, and you always wondered when you talked to her when you were there, that you've been asking these questions for a long time, and that when you would talk to her about this, that she was actually there with you. It was, you just didn't receive that. And I think well, she's kind of like, you were like yes and no. I mean, you were just a little kid, so there's a lot of confusion there, a lot of pain there, a lot of, like, you missed her a lot. She was a really sweet mom. She's showing me, and she's showing me you two together. And she's showing me again like this was something that was sudden.
Yeah, it was. Um, she was born with a spinal defect or a birth defect,
Okay.
um, called spina bifida,
Okay.
and it just caused a lot of health issues um, on her end, and she was going in for a routine replace like operation to fix something due to that, and it was an accident. They gave her the wrong anesthesia.
Got it.
Um,
Okay, that makes
so
sense. Because I
yeah,
kind
but
of saw
like it
this as
wasn't.
something, I was just like, was this like a, because she showed me long and then she showed me short. And it's like, okay. And then she's also showing me
Well,
from your perspective too. As a child, to you it was very sudden. It wasn't like, you may have understood on some level this is something she's been dealing with and whatever, but it was very sudden. um
Well, yeah, because like it was such a routine procedure, but I guess the long part, I mean, it wasn't like she died the same day in surgery. She was in a coma for like a month,
got it. Okay.
and like it was, yeah, but it was like around the new year. Like she left, took me this, like, I was gonna be taken to school by someone, and she literally walked out the door and never came back.
Got it. Yeah, there's There's a very like matter of fact thing about it, was that it's hard to kind of, at least from our perspective as humans, even make sense of it. But it was what she's showing me, and I understand from a higher perspective, is this kind of this timeline being something that basically what she's showing me, and she wants you to understand, she's like, if we were in another state, in another hospital with other doctors, same thing would have happened. Is kind of like,
Oh yeah, like
does
the
that make
funny thing is
sense?
that like yeah. Like I feel like I've come to peace with that. Like I feel like what happened wouldn't, if it didn't happen then, it probably would have happened later. You know? Like
Yeah, she's making it very clear. Like, it was just like, you could say like, oh, if it wasn't at this hospital, that wouldn't have happened, which makes sense the way we process stuff. But she's showing me like, no, it would just have been the same thing in another, kind of different
yeah.
details, but same outcome, basically.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I always knew. I think when I was a kid, even then, I knew that, I mean, she would have seizures. So,
Got it.
she's probably making, when she's and I'm thinking about the bed, we shared a bed because I thought that she would die if I didn't share a bed with her. Like,
Mm,
if I shared a bed, like I
okay.
didn't sleep in my own bed
So
until
there's
after she
more with the
died.
bed.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, like yeah, like we shared a bed. Like I didn't sleep in my own bed until I was after she died. And it was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay.
I still will grab people, like my husband, I grab him in his sleep. Um and tell him to like not have seizures if he like snores or does something or moves suddenly. Like major PTSD.
Got it. Okay. So to your original question, it was kind of like, there was no way of her knowing that it was going to, actually turn out like that for you. But she was there with you. She's very aware and comes through very clearly about this whole bed situation. It's like everything else is dark, and then there's this bed. And she keeps saying, and she keeps showing me like a star, a star and the word miracle. Did she used to say like it was just a miracle that I had you,
Oh shit.
or something
Yeah.
to that effect?
Yeah. Like, oh my God. So we both, like my mom was born sick, so she getting pregnant was not in the cards for her. Like
Right.
she got pregnant at 19, and honestly the day that I was born, we both almost died. And that's
Okay.
honestly that's how I got my name, actually, because Nia, or Naya, because she liked the name Naya better. It
Okay.
means purpose. It means purpose in Swahili.
Oh, that's sweet. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's just kept showing me miracle, 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 and then stars, 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 like all these beautiful yellow, golden stars. She keeps like I have these like the string of lights that have like all these colors, and I just keep being yellow, yellow, and then stars, and then miracle. Yeah, um, she really saw you as like the thing she was meant to do in life, like this really beautiful, deep thing with you. Like, this was my purpose wasn't to suffer. I understand that now. My purpose was to like beat the odds to where I did, to be able to do what I did and have you.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, she really sees it. She sees you like this very, she says, I don't want to pressure her, but you know, you know how miraculous you are, she says. You know how special you are. You know the special parts about you that maybe too few people know. Quite frankly, that you also have very specific um psychic or healing abilities yourself, that you're very deeply, you feel very deeply, you're very connected, you're a very sweet and kind person, but you, that there's so much more there with you that maybe you yourself have not fully embraced, because there's a lot of, yeah, there's been a lot of, like, there are a lot of questions with you, she's showing me. She says she's showing me kind of like, you know, it's like if you have a rope, you have this side and you have this side. She says there's a lot of these that just need to be connected and like fused together for you. And there's been this like, this break, and almost kind of like you don't want to know kind of thing. Is that resonating?
I guess I probably need a little bit more context. Like I'm not.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Well, that's just kind of, so I'm not, that's not, it's not really detailed the way she's telling, she's showing it either, but she keeps saying like there's this, sixth sense type of abilities with you. Do you agree to that?
I don't know. I feel very deeply about things. That's very true. I feel like, you know, there are people in my life that have passed that have impacted me so much that, you know, I think about them and I feel them very deeply. Sometimes my mom is like, I feel like out of the people that have passed, like my mom is probably, I don't feel as connected to her as I once did when I was younger. And I don't know
Right,
what
right,
that,
right. You mentioned that.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's like just, she says you're out of practice. She says,
Oh.
truly, it's kind of like you notice that there's been, and that's kind of what she was showing me to before, because it was like this, like from far away being pulled in kind of thing with her,
Uh-huh.
coming through. Not, and that's just to say, it's more to illustrate kind of like that there is more like, if you were, you know, it's like, okay, at one point, if you lived in the same house, now she lives, you know, a few hours away, sort of thing. Like there's more distance between you, sort of thing. But she, you know, not to, you know, there isn't any shame or blame to this at all, but she just says, you know, when you were younger and you didn't have, you weren't, you know, as you grow up, it's really natural um to have this happen, this separation kind of thing, to feel like it's like this distance and stuff, but that's not true. It's more like circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's circumstance. And so it's very, again, kind of like we were talking with Naya earlier, was like, or nine. Oh, I have a hard time with your name, I'm sorry, honey. Where that is entirely up to you to kind of clear the space if you want to have that closer connection. And then just, that's with her, but she's just saying, kind of generally speaking, there's this definite thing that's tied into her that has been like kind of also a block in certain ways. But once that's cleared for you, like a lot will shift. Like, so let me ask you this. Have you felt blocked? Have you felt like in this kind of boxed in kind of feeling? Like, are you feeling like what's like, is there some type of blocking energy with you? Or what's
I
going
think
on with
that,
you?
well, I think that I don't like to go there because it's really hard. I think that
Right.
the reason why I don't do that stuff is because it hurts and it's really deep. Like not
Right.
only my mother, but my father passed away tragically too. So like, and that was more tragic. Um, and other people in my life have been like have passed tragically suddenly, and when I think about the totality of it all, it is overwhelming.
Yeah, I can understand that
It is,
for
it
sure.
is like I feel like there is a line of people that have made such profound impacts on me that have just died suddenly. So it's really hard to mentally go there because it would break me, and so I don't go there. So it's hard. I don't want to therapy
Um,
about it, but it's just yeah.
yeah, no, that's definitely understandable because there's so much there to kind of deal with. And the way that life works is there's a tragedy, there's a loss, but tomorrow's Monday, the next day is Sunday, the next day is, it doesn't stop to let us catch up to the new reality. We have a new reality, and then we just are in that reality. And it can be, and for most people, I mean, it's hard to say generalizations, but uh there's no right or wrong way, first off, to grieve and to go through loss and stuff, especially as a young person who's lost their parents. um but it's kind of like whatever was stable ground has now been broken up, like literally an earthquake just came through and just destroyed this, the pavement that you're on. And then you just have to take a few of those pieces and stack them up so you can keep walking, and it doesn't really get fixed because it's
Yeah.
this new thing.
Right.
But I guess not the question, but the advice, or the, however, to move on from here would be to, instead of seeing everything as a whole with all of the people, it's just start at the beginning and work your way forward. So mom would be first, and again, very similarly to how I advised Nina, was for you as well, for you to go through a process of kind of release or tapping in, because we need to acknowledge what is hurt or out of place, before we can transmute that energy. So whatever that that brings up for those things, then everything that's connected to it brings up for you, and to go through this process of, because the more that you can work through, and I know it's not saying that it's easy, but it will help you, will make you feel a lot better, and it will clear the space to have a connection with her that isn't anchored with all of the hurt and the pain, and not only of the trauma of what happened with her at the hospital, or the month after that, or or even where you had to live and all of that. It's just like, try to, instead of breaking that down into so many pieces, see it like as a whole. And because now you're in a very different place now, so you can see this, and you right, because you're a grown adult now, so you can see this from a perspective that you could never see it before. And I really feel like,
Right.
things happen for a reason. We get, time goes by, and and then we get to a certain place in time where it's like, okay, now's the time to look back, to deal, to heal, to really rebirth ourselves in this new way, to patch up. I love this, again, this card, to patch up those cracks with now a totally different energy. and your capacity to be able to do that now is not like what it's been before, even to be guided here and to have this conversation with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you think about that and just take it, step by step, and don't let it be the huge mountain that it can be. Again, take it one step at a time, and each one of these will help you heal and connect, and the next one will be that much easier because of the previous steps that you've taken. And tell yourself that this will, like you said earlier, that it would break you maybe in the past, and maybe if you laid it all out on the table at once, but not today, and not the way that you're being guided to do it. It won't break you. It will help mend you. It will help heal you, because you have the capacity and the power to do that. And I think she's saying, she knows, like, that, without putting words in your mouth, but she's like saying to me, like, she knows that she can do it. She, like, do you know you can do it? Because she's saying that you can do it. But like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it's like this energy that's coming through from you, and she's telling me what you haven't, but she's saying she knows she can do it. So do you agree with that?
I do.
I agree with it too.
Yeah.
I don't think you would be here and you would get this advice if you weren't ready. Because I think you also have known all along that maybe there's this whole like, oh, this could break me. But I think that on another level, you're like, this could change me. And what is that all that about? And so that question is, yes, it will change you, but it will change you for the better. You'll be and feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
If
That's a good thing. I did have one more question though.
yeah.
And this might seem odd, but my mother was cremated.
Your mother was
But
what?
I don't cremated.
Cremated. Okay.
I don't know where she is.
What do you mean? Like where her
I
ashes
just-
went?
Yeah, I don't know where her ashes are.
Okay.
I don't talk to my mother's side of the family just because of things that have transpired.
Right.
Based off of what we said before.
Right.
So I don't know. And I would like to just have a idea as to where she could be.
She's showing me a body of water that's like a lake. Did you guys live near a lake?
No. We're from DC.
Or an inlet from an ocean or something like that. Or it could be a river, but it's really still.
We do live by a river. Like we grew up by the Anacostia River. But yeah.
Because she's showing me there. So let me just verify here, because I'm seeing like long like reeds of like the like grass that's like really long, like tall. I'm seeing it from far away though, so it could be a river but it seemed like a wide body of water. But let me there's trees. It's decently flat, but anyway, in any event, let me see. I don't think this was. She's showing me a sister type person, but not a sister. More like a very close female. Did she have a really close female friend? because that's what she's showing me. She's like, this was a sister to me person.
Mm-hmm.
Was there even like talk about you going with this other person that was not related to you? It's definitely a female.
Like living with her?
Yeah, like that maybe this, it's like I'm seeing a J name, like Jane or Joan or Janet, something J. But she's showing me she's showing me a female, like a best friend, a very close person that's not related, but she felt they were very close. That you were close to this person too. Do you remember somebody like this?
Yeah, but like I know that my first grade teacher, her name was Geraldine, but it begins with a G.
Okay. I'm seeing a J, but I don't know if it would be your teacher. It's more like a friend.
Well, they were friends. My mom used to work in
like friend, like
school.
really like hang out all the time type of friends. Or somebody she would consider like a sister, basically. She keeps showing me sister, but not sister. That's how she's referring to this person. And I could have sworn it was a J, but maybe I'm mistaken. Jerry? Jerry. Did she call her Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There we go. Jerry. She's saying Jerry. So what's the deal with Jerry? Because when we started tapping in with her where her ashes were, then this woman comes into play.
I have no clue. Like she was my first grade teacher. I haven't been in touch with her forever. But in my elementary school years, we were very close and we just kind of lost touch. But yeah,
she's basically saying if I had my way, you would have gone to live with her, but it was out of that. What she wasn't a person documented in that capacity, and she wasn't any relation to you either. So I don't know if you knew, if there was something that you knew like this when she would like that, or maybe that was more coming from your mom. But in any event, she's bringing this person up when it's related to her ashes too. Like this person had them or took them, and that she was that her ashes were released at this. I guess it is a river. Maybe it is. I'm just seeing it from a perspective. I'm not sure why I'm just keep seeing it. It's almost like a picture, but it's not. It's just this view that she's giving me, and I'm not getting any closer to it. She's giving me this kind of far away view. Like it's like the water is like at least 150 yards away from us. So, when it's that far away and it's not like super wide, you don't see that much of it. So I guess that makes sense if that's a river. But it just doesn't seem to be like moving a whole lot. But in any event, she keeps showing me this scene. And then this woman, and then she shows me this woman, this sister who's not a sister, and and she keeps saying Jerry. Yeah. So I don't know that. So she says, if you want to know, that's where my ashes were released there. I guess it was I don't know. That's where she's showing me, or that's where it has a meaning to her. But she's not being like really clear about it. She says it was just, she's saying she thought it was a nice, pretty place in nature to release my ashes.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying. So there's not a whole lot more than that to it.
Yeah, because I didn't ask a lot of questions. I know that my grandfather, who was her father, had them, but he didn't know this elementary school teacher. But yeah. But I just didn't know like where, like if, because I know there was talk about possibly burying them, but I don't know. But I can
I wish
definitely
I
think
could give
about
you
it.
more, but it's weird because it took this weird turn to this woman. She started talking about this woman, and then she just keeps showing me this spot. And that's all that she's.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that she's given me on that.
Okay.
Okay. Was there anything else?
Are there people with her?
Oh, yeah, she's showing me being part of this like bigger collective. But she's not coming through with anybody specific.
Okay.
At least wait, give me a second. Let me just, because she tends to kind of, she's not like super, she's very gentle with her messages, so they can kind of take a little bit to settle in. And
she was a very gentle person, a very gentle spirit.
I can see that.
Very, very quiet.
Yeah.
She was the youngest of four. Like, yeah, like my mom was pretty soft spoken.
Yeah, I'm getting that with her. She definitely. Yeah, she's just showing me this like. She's showing me a really large, so she's kind of scoping me out. It's kind of like seeing like if you see the Milky Way kind of thing. Like there's so much going on in there. She's kind of scoping me out to be like, yeah, I'm part of this whole thing that's going on. And
Okay.
which is really beautiful. It's very yeah, it's like this very gentle, loving real angelic energy, to be quite honest with you. And she just shows me just being swirled up into that. And it's, again, she came through with all this like yellow gold. And so she's showing me a lot of that again. So she's not being very specific. She's being more symbolic about some stuff. Which is fine. She says, I'm with many others, but not ones that you would recognize necessarily. But she shows me she's with many others. She says, I'm far from being alone. I'm very... She's like, I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, but I can always be with you too. And she's also coming through, and she would like to, if you would like to come up with some type of symbol or acknowledgement or something that you can either focus on to help call her in if you want to be with her and feel her and talk to her, or for you, or the other way around, for you to see and feel her energy coming through there.
Yeah, I keep her pictures on my mantle. So that's why I was like,
say that again?
I keep her pictures on my mantle, so I've been looking at that the whole time.
Okay, that's good. But she's like showing me, like, she keeps like, I don't know, there's like I mean, that's definitely, you can always do that, but there's also like, she's saying, there could be something, like they always want to have some type of distinctive symbol or something to that either that represents them, or can or will.
Yeah,
And from the beginning,
butterflies are
sorry,
butterflies are what I think of butterflies.
butterflies. Awesome.
I actually wore gold butterflies on my wedding day. Um as like
Yeah.
a homage to her.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well there you go. She says, "How about?" She's like, "Okay, okay, then let's make that official, like, an acknowledgement." Um and she's showing me like I guess like a monarch butterfly like that, or like a there's not too many yellow butterflies, but that like in that family of like orange and yellows and stuff like that. She's very specifically like very tied into that color. Very. Um
Okay.
and again she's also showing me stars again. She says, so maybe this now I'm seeing stars with butterfly. Oh, that's really pretty. It's like a butterfly with like stars around it. Really pretty.
Hmm. Okay.
Do you draw? Are you an artist by any chance? Do you paint
No,
or
I'm
draw or
not.
anything? No?
No, my great grandmother was an artist. You know what? Um, I have a painting of my great grandmother's, and now that I'm thinking of it, it's let me look at this. It's kind of dilapidated, but there is a lot of yellow in this painting. It's a painting of a little girl in a field of dandelions that are yellow, and
Okay.
she's like sniffing the dandelions, and they're all yellow. It's like a sea of yellow. I just thought about that.
Oh, how pretty.
But like but my mother said, "Oh, that's Naya." So my great grandmother willed it to me when she passed. So I
Aw.
have it right here.
Oh, that's
Mm,
awesome.
yeah.
Um, yeah, she says that that's definitely a connection to her. She says that, look out for some piece of art that's going to have stars and butterflies, and it's going to be a lot of yellow. And when you see it, you'll know what it is. Because I don't even think
Mhm.
that, like, I think that connection with that painting is definitely something that's something that she resonates with. It's just, yeah, a lot of yellow, but also these stars. And then you mentioned the butterflies. I'm just seeing orange and yellow. And so I don't know, you may see that at some point in the near future. If you do, try to get that for yourself wherever you might be, in
Oh,
person or online.
there's
Um,
another painting of hers that literally is like of my great grandmother's, who's an artist, that in my aunt's house, that is of butterfly. And I kid you not, it's like orange and it's a collage of different colors, but it's mostly like yellows and oranges. Oh my God, that's crazy.
are there stars with it?
There, I don't know if it's necessarily star. I have to double check it, but I know that if for sure there's yellows and butterflies. Not sure if there's stars, but I
Okay.
have to double check
Well, definitely could be that, or it could be something real
that I
like
haven't seen yet.
similar to that. But there's definitely something there that she says that you'll see that connection with, or it could be a new thing to you. Could
Okay.
be a brand new thing that you've never seen before. But or you may see a couple of things that might resonate. In any event, that's definitely the colors and the symbols that are coming up. The stars, the yellow stars or gold stars, and like the monarch butterfly type of with the kind of like those yellows and orange and kind of crimson colors
Okay.
that are coming through.
Okay.
Okay. Um She's showing me you again with bed, but this time, or sleep. You did mention that you will sometimes wake up in the middle of sleep, but she's also showing me that you'll have a hard time going to sleep. Is this true?
Oh God, yeah. I have insomnia like nobody's business.
Yeah. Yep. So she's saying she's showing me a count, like a 10 count. She's saying that, maybe I don't. Okay, so there's a few different things coming through here about this. She's showing me that, well, first off, sometimes you even avoid going to sleep because you get frustrated when you get into bed and you can't sleep. But then she's showing me just like literally lying in bed, like looking at the ceiling kind of thing, like being like, I'm gonna like talking to yourself about it. And so the bottom line here, love, is that what she's saying is that she'd like to help you with this. With the sleep business, that you definitely, this is a major problem. It has caused issues with you, with your energy, with all sorts of stuff. You just not being like, as
Yep.
I guess you could say mentally as strong as you could be if you were getting sleep like you should, is kind of like what she's showing me. And she says she wants to help you with this. And she's showing me like this 10 count. Like if you could think about counting back from 10 to 1 and think about, so she wants you to like really think about, she says, I want to help you with this. I want to help you with this going to sleep so you can sleep and be rested. This is a really serious situation.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
My biggest, like, well, the thing is, a lot of it stems from my mom. So it's,
Yeah, so this makes sense that she wants to help you with this, because she's like, she's showing me like you'll be frustrated about your now life, but you're frustrated about your then life, is the way she's putting it. So you'll think about, you'll bounce from then to now, from then to now. Is this right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can't sleep, because it's about this thing with your mom, and now it's, so it's just this bouncy, back and forth. So she's like, we need to fix this. You and I need to fix this, because basically this is are you familiar with cords and energy cords, things like that, how we're connected to people and events through energy cords?
No, I don't.
Okay, so it's a bigger topic, and there's a lot about it, and I've talked about it a lot in past videos too. So some of you guys would have heard this, some of you maybe not. But energy cords is something especially to familiars, especially to parents, siblings, people in our immediate family. Then we're corded to friends. We're corded to people who we've had intimate relationships with. We can establish a cord with somebody we just talked to at the Home Depot for a half an hour, because we're energetic beings, and that's how when we feel the vibes of people, we go, oh, that person had a great vibe. That person, they give me the creeps. That's our energy cords, like antenna that like connect with other people and feel from their energy. This is why we can, just meet a person and spend some time with them, at a store or whatever, and feel super, super like good and, just rejuvenated. Or, same thing can happen and you can, just feel super drained, but you could go, they were really nice, but oh my God, I'm exhausted now, kind of thing. Those are cords that like either energy is coming or energy is going. But it's always, it's like a line that's constantly, receiving. Okay. So when it comes to PTSD stuff, for any situation with trauma and PTSD is basically like what you experienced with your mom before the event, especially because you used to be in bed with her. And then it was her, being in bed in a hospital bed. So it was just like a lot of this. Then your space that you were in at your aunt's was a bed. So there's a lot of this bed business going on. So anything kind of connected with a bed is very traumatic with you. And you have a lot of negative energy connected to this bed business. I think she's showing me the couch. She's like, you have an easier time sleeping on the couch. Is that true?
It can be both. I mean, I think it doesn't matter. I have a really great bed now, which is helpful.
That's good.
So my bed is
But
probably the
it's
most
mostly
comfortable
about
place now.
sleep,
But yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's mostly about sleep. But she's also saying that sometimes it's not being in bed kind of like helps. But you should be able to sleep in your bed. So anyway, so what we have here is a situation where you have the loss of your mom and that traumatic event and all the grief and the connections that happen with that. But then the actual PTSD part of it also is with your mom. And the way that this works, it's like, it doesn't matter if it was 23 years ago, whatever it was. This is still energetically like it just happened. That's why PTSD is what it is. It feels like it just happened. That's why people feel all of the things they feel when they are triggered by, whatever, sight, smells, sounds, words, never know what it's going to do. It's like, whoa, it's like all that energy is like right there. And it's because of energy cords that we're connected to. So there's a couple of things that need to happen here. And just across the board for everybody who's watching this in the present or in a replay, there's things we can do with either resetting or cutting cords. And that's literally like, hanging up the phone kind of thing. Like the connection, like the open connection is now cut. And now you're not exchanging energy with that anymore. And just because we had a situation, clearly PTSD proves it. Just because we had a situation happen 5 months ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, our bodies and our energy and our capacity mentally and emotionally, when we are hit with that energy, it affects us like it just happened. That proves that energy cords are alive and real and are connected to places and time as well as people. So we can effectively disconnect those cords, so that affects us in the now because we're not picking up on those vibes and everything it's connected to anymore. Then there's this thing called cord resetting. That would be mostly with people in our lives that are currently, so it'd be like your husband, your children, your best friend, if whatever family that you have, like the people that are like the major, what I call the major players in the characters in your life that, happen on a regular basis. We are constantly connecting energy back and forth with them. And even in the best of relationships, there's gonna be miscommunication and tension and things just, it's a full moon, whatever. Like, after a while, that's gonna be within that cord. And cord resets, literally what I call, is kind of like flushing the toilet, having a whole new energy cord established between you and this other person. So it doesn't matter if your mom is crossed over, you can still, for anybody here, it doesn't matter if that loved one or loved ones have crossed over, you can still reset an energy cord with people who have crossed over. This greatly helps to clear energy. It makes energy and communication that much more effective, and mostly it brings back a lot of life force to your body for you to take care of and to reintegrate, to actually be a positive instead of a negative. So when we have cords connected to any traumatic experience or any person or any relationship from our past, this is constant energy, life force going out to all of these people or situations or experiences. They're even more intense and more life force goes to them when they're traumatic, or abusive, traumatic, whatever. And depending on the relationship and how energetically you were connected to somebody, and if it's your mother, obviously that's a really strong connection. So on my website, archangelslove.com, if you go to the more section, there's a download for a PDF on energy cords. It's going to be part of my new book, but I've released it in that form for people because this is information that needs to be out there sooner than later. And it's free. You can just download it. You just have to sign up for the site, and then you can download it. And then on that same site, under channeled spirit walks, there's a podcast where I get more into detail about all this so you can understand it. And then there's the actual practice of doing the cord cutting. And you're advised, and it says it in the PDF, you're advised to listen all the way through to the practice before you do it. Sorry, something just got loud. Oh, cat. And then you can do this specifically for your mother and the whole situation of her, her death and everything surrounding it and the trauma surrounding it and before that, and then see how that feels, see how that goes for you, and if you're able to sleep a little bit better or a lot better. Then secondly, if it doesn't quite do the trick, then I would do it specifically for the situation with the sleeping. So this stuff with your mother may need to be kind of broken up within itself to begin with. You know what I mean? But both of them come from that practice of doing, it's called the cord cutting. And cutting is it's not the greatest term, and I don't really like it because it sounds very invasive. It sounds very like, a lot of people, like, they'll do meditations or guided meditations with, like, literally using scissors or knives or swords to cut the energy cord, which is very bad. Nobody do that. And if you've done it before, I'm sorry to people who have, because the body does not respond well to that type of work. It's I've had people tell me, like, yeah, I've done it, but I don't like it because I don't like it doesn't feel right. And it's because, well, it was performed in a way that is very shocking and disruptive and literally painful to all the bodies, the physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, energetic body, physical body. I think I said that already, but it's very jarring, and the bodies don't like it. And it usually doesn't take because of what that's all about. We heal through love. We heal through acknowledgement. We heal through the intent to let go and to integrate something else or to have a higher life force. And that comes through just pure intention. So it's about disconnecting and pulling that energy back from what it was connected to this whole time, what is taken from you this whole time. And it will feel very different in your body. Very, very different. You're to do that at night, and you can do them every other night, but you need to give your body a whole night. So you're supposed to do them as close to going to bed as possible. So you just hopefully go right to sleep if you can, or be as rested as you can, because the body needs that whole time to reintegrate the energy back into the body and assimilate to that. The next day, some people feel like they could run a marathon, and other people feel like they did run a marathon. Either way, the body does what it does. And with each one of these, you could feel very differently. But this is definitely literally prescribed by your mother. She's the one who brought up this sleep stuff, brought up this, it started from the bed to begin with her, and she's been very all about it in different ways. But take that, do with that what you will, obviously your own time, but the tools are there for you to use. And I highly recommend that you at least peruse, let it, read the PDF, listen to the podcast and the practice, and just let it settle. It's not something to be like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. It's not like that. You need to kind of ease into this and really fully understand it. And I'm sure you'll feel way, way better with all of this. And it'll clear up a lot of that what I call friction. It's like friction energy. That friction energy within you is really makes it hard to settle and be chill and relax and peaceful. And you've had this multiple times. So what you may think, like, this is just me, I just have this like unsettled friction type energy within me that can never be just at peace. That is only true because of the way things have been, but it can absolutely change. It doesn't have to stay that way. You can change that with your intention to do so. Replacing the energy out will make you feel completely different in your body regarding the whole experience and the trauma and your mom and all of that stuff. Won't be like it erased it. It'll be like truly like it was like a memory. Like right now, this is like a thing that just happened with you instead of it really being like a memory from long ago. And very quickly it will feel like, and in a good way, be like, oh, that's not affecting me. Like it just effing happened. And that's what you've been dealing with this whole time. Like you just tap into that. It just happened. And in all of these slices of this situation, and there's many looks that you have about it. So before, during, after, all of that kind of thing. So start with the whole and kind of work your way and see how that feels for you. But just concentrate on your mom before you move on to anybody else, because you'll know when it's settled. You'll know. Any questions about any of that?
No, I think that it's definitely a lot to tap into, but I think that I want to do that work. So
yeah, it's about you. You know what I mean? It's about you. It's about you being as healthy as you can possibly be, and this guidance coming through for you to do that. So yeah, it is a lot to process. Like, definitely agree, but it's definitely like, this road is opening up to rectify a lot of this stuff you've been dealing with that you don't have to anymore, really. And it's just when you're ready, you'll know when you're ready. The new moon is in a couple days. That would be a great time to make intentions about this, to have this energy come through to really guide you through this and support you through this, this intentional healing that you can do for yourself, that any and all of you can do for yourself. It's really, it's a gift, and it's, like I said, it's free. It just takes your time, your energy, and your intent to do it, really. And because it is a thing. Definitely. It's the first thing in the programs that I do. I have my Evolve Now programs where I work with people, and doing cord cuts and cord resets are like the first thing that they're to do. And to do all of them takes 2 to 3 months. But I offer it, all of that, for free for anybody who wants to do that on their own, because it's such a powerful healing tool, that will be the first steps in so much more to come. But these things need to be rectified first. That's the way I've been guided to do me and everybody else that comes through me. So yeah, one step at a time. But what did you say?
Oh, no, I said that's great.
Okay, perfect. Well, I guess we're done here. Your mom. Okay, so she's saying thank you. You're very welcome. She's just so grateful that she got to connect with you today, and she's looking forward to more in the future with you. Okay. But I think she's saying, she goes, clearly we know, clearly I know things. So I'm there with you, even if you're, if it feels like there's distance. I am always aware of you and tapped in with you. So anytime you want to connect with me and talk to me, know that I can hear you. You can think about the butterflies or the stars or things like that. If that helps you to center yourself, to ground your awareness and your vision, to kind of push everything else out and just think of me, think of those images, and that will help us to connect.
Okay.
Right. She says, I love
so
you.
All right.
And she sends her love. So it was really nice meeting you today, Nia or Naya. Do you say Nia or Naya?
It's Naya. Long
Naya,
I.
okay.
My mom is very big on it being Naya.
Got it. Okay, sweetheart. Well, it was really great meeting you, and I hope to see you again sometime in the future.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your night.
All right. Bye.
Okay, guys. Well, we are definitely, these, I say 15, 20 minutes. These can never be 15, 20 minutes. No matter what I say. It's like that just out of the water. But as you can see, it takes time for things to come through, and it's like digging. It's like, where are we going? Oh, it's like a little bit more over there. No, a little bit more. And that's just kind of how it goes. These are also, believe it or not, limited because we are in a group. We're not just alone. There's certain things sometimes that come through that should be more private or whatever. I didn't get a whole lot of that today, but in any event, it's always very gratifying for me to do these connections for people. I do offer mediumship. However, mediumship sessions, healing sessions, I do a lot of stuff with people. However, I am booked out through March. And so if anybody would like, you can't even book on my site right now, but we can do is either send a request through the contact or just subscribe. If you subscribe, then you'll know kind of with everybody in an email blast or my Substack newsletter that my schedule is open again. But if you want to be put on the wait list, please send an email directly to through the website. There's a contact form, or you can send an email directly to Dawn, DAWN at archangelslove.com, my beautiful friend and assistant, my magical assistant, I call her. And then you will be put on the wait list, and just let us know that that's what you want. I will be doing these more periodically in the future. I'm not sure when though. My schedule is really jam-packed right now, and I'm trying to even eliminate things at this point because a lot of things have shifted and done all that stuff, like I said. So for now, if you are interested in anything that I do, please just, like I said, check out the website, get on the wait list, and we'll let you know as soon as space opens up. I have to be regimented and very specific about how much time I have for everything that I do, and things got kind of maxed out real quick over these last few weeks. Let me just check in here. Good evening. Oh, good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Allison. Good evening to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful night. Love and hugs to everybody here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the ladies who were Naya and is the other lady still here? Maybe not. Naya, right? I have such a hard time with her name. And these two together, I'm like, but anyway, thank you to both of you. That was really beautiful to connect to your loved ones. And it really is. Mediumship is one of my favorite things to do because it is, you never know what's going to come up. And there's this absolute connection. I love reconnecting people to each other and giving them ways to continue that on their own. I find that just so beautiful and helpful. And, something like I said to both of these lovely ladies, they are not gone, and you can still have this beautiful relationship. There just needs to be some clearing first. And a releasing and a healing that really, really allows for that to happen. And it doesn't feel like, if anything, I've had clients where they're like, I have a better relationship with my mother now than I did before she died, and the way that she comes through and the way that I talk to her and how much I feel her and love her and stuff like that. I've heard that so many times. And it's like, it's because like they, you know, it's like the human stuff can kind of fall away, and the new energy with people can be reestablished on a whole new level. It helps everybody when that can happen. So death definitely doesn't have to be the end. It's not the end. It's just an illusion to see it that way. We just have to change our perspective of how we view death and handle death and deal with death. And hopefully as time goes on, people can heal more in the present, and connect more in the present through their spiritual connections that they already have established. So there isn't this like chasm of time in between. So that's my wish. But anyway, I hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your night. I'm going to check in here. How do you choose who to read on Fireside? I really don't. This wasn't like, it was just kind of one person at a time here when it comes to the Oracle, which I'll be doing on Saturday. Once I say, anybody, who wants a reading, and then you'll just put in your, you'll just like you did, you made a comment, you would just say, I request a reading. Can I please have a reading? That sort of thing. And I literally just go down the list. I don't pick and choose how that works. So that's basically it. Pretty simple, but thanks for asking. So whenever I have either these or the Oracle readings, that's basically how it works. You just first come, first serve. You do have to be, and there, if you look in the description, I do go through it for the mediumship one, and for the Oracle, I'm very descriptive as like how it works. And like so if you read all that, you'll see there too. And I hope that you join me. I hope all of you join me. I really thank you all so much for being with me tonight. This was a really beautiful experience. I'm sorry I can't do more, but I do have to get out of this chair and take care of my back and my butt and my hips that I'm healing. But I wish you all the best, and I hope you can be with me and visit on Saturday for the new moon, Oracle readings, and Spirit Walk. And I know there's going to be a lot more that comes out and to be shared. So please join me for that. And until next time, you guys, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.